Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into a top 10 LEGO video. Earlier this week, my friends were talking about some of the sets that they missed out on, and I've been wanting to do this video for such a long time. I thought that, you know what, they were talking about, let's sit down and do this, because over the many years of collecting LEGO, a lot of sets have passed me by, and that was due to just having to prioritize and pick what sets I really want. So with the anniversary of it being their 90 years of LEGO this year, as well as just the price increase and people having to be a bit more selective of what sets they're going to want to pick up, I just thought that I'd share some of my experiences as I sort of went through that same thing when I was a kid, and I regret a lot. Like I do. I regret missing certain sets, collecting random themes like Atlantis sometimes, or trying out things like I look back at like I should have gotten Star Wars over Lord of the Rings. I don't know what I was thinking. So just looking back, sometimes you think like, what was I thinking? And look at what I missed out on. And I think that's sort of what this list is, as you see, just depending on the years that these sets came out. So let's start here. And this is spot number 10. And back in 2016, and really up until recently, I wasn't collecting modulars, but the brick bank is probably my favorite one that I don't have, and I'm trying really hard not to go back and buy some of the older modulars, because if I know I start doing that, then I'm gonna want even more. But this is one of my favorites just because of like the storytelling that I used to do in my city with having a bank and having like the supervillains Robin and stuff like that. Like you see that in the one Two-Face set. So this was really awesome to me, and I also just loved like the story that they told here, that like you could steal and rob different ways and break into the vault. I thought was a really unique sort of idea for this modular. I love it when modulars tell these sort of stories, which also the laundromat was referenced in the police station, which I thought was also a really fun Easter egg to include in that set. Spot number 9, it's so low on the list, but I would love to have it. It's hard to explain why it's low. I don't think that the set here for the Ghost, the build of it, it's not the greatest. I really don't think that it is up to par with like what we could or should be getting for this ship. Like, yeah, it's fine. I think that, you know, it gets the job done back then. I don't think I watched Rebels when it first started. I think I hopped on when it began to connect to Rogue One in whatever year that was. Or no, it was the year of The Force Awakens. So I remember seeing this, and I just didn't really care. Looking back, like, yeah, I'd love a Ghost. I'd love a Ghost in a future set. I think they could do so much better than what is done here. No offense to this ship if you really love it, but I did like how it could connect to the Phantom as well. The minifigures in here as well are just pretty weak. Like I think that a larger version of this, like it was $89.99 USD. So I think if there was one priced at like what the Millennium Falcon is, just a larger ship, I think would be really awesome just to get the whole Ghost crew, or, you know, they'll probably tie it into Ahsoka or something like that. But that's why it's so low. It's not the greatest build, and I feel like soon we'll get it, so I don't feel as bad about missing it out on it. But this next one is, spot number 8 is the Ewok Village. Return of the Jedi is my absolute favorite Star Wars movie, and I look back at this, and I'm sad, but at the same time, like I look at the price of what it was, and there's just no way that I could have gotten it back then. But it is a beautiful set. It absolutely is. I love all the different play features, and the minifigures in the set as well are phenomenal. Like I really love just all the different Ewoks, and just the outfit as well for Leia, I think is one of the things that I'm really sad that I don't have in my collection. However, again, it's on the lower end of things just because of back in, what year was this, 2013, you know, that was superheroes was just kicking off and everything like that. So I don't feel as bad about this one, but there's a lot to be desired here, which I wonder if they'll do a remake, but maybe for an anniversary, but I'd rather they remake the Bunker or something like that. And spot number 7, we have the Venator. And I love this ship. I really did back then. Specifically, I was maybe really tempted to get this because of Chancellor Palpatine. I love the Emperor and Chancellor Palpatine, and I really always wanted that minifigure. However, it's Clone Wars. They had the wacky faces you see here, and I still don't have a Chancellor Palpatine figure, which really frustrates me. There's a lot of other opportunities that I missed out on too to get better looking ones when it comes to the face and stuff like that. But the figures were great too with the Senate guards, but I think I got them in the Cad Bane set anyways. But yeah, back in 2011, there was other things, but the build of this is great. And again, I think that Lego needs to remake that, especially just with this era of prequel love that we're in right now. Spot number 6, we have the Duel on Geonosis. And I don't know why I didn't get this, because it's not that expensive. I recall at one point seeing it on sale, but I loved the original one. I always loved Dooku and his hilted lightsaber. And I don't know what I was thinking. Paul the Lesser was in here as well, the new Yoda, and I just didn't get it. And I wound up paying a ridiculous price. I remember not recently, but in the last few years for Count Dooku. And I think that it's the 20-year anniversary of this film. It is a tragedy. It's the 20-year anniversary, and Lego's just not done anything about it so far this year, and the year's nearly up, and doesn't look like there's going to be anything. Spot number 5 here, we have an Indiana Jones set, and this is the Temple Escape. And if the theme were to come back for the movie next year, I think that this would be the set they remake or something from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's one of the most iconic moments with the giant boulder and everything like that. And I look back at this, and I remember I saw this movie way too young, and we wound up shutting it off. I was very little, and just everything here, and just some of the death features and stuff like that in the set. It's pretty crazy that it exists, with like Satipo and stuff like that. But I still look back at this, and I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't really want it. But now looking back, I'm like, this is such a cool set. Just all the different play features, the different sections to this. It's a really incredible set that I hope they remake. But at the same time, I really want this old one. But it definitely, you look at the builds and you could see I don't know how well it's aged. But next up here we have spot number 4. This is the Rancor Pit, and this is a really cool set. Again, it wasn't that expensive, but it had this incredible Rancor, and now the set is a ridiculous price. I love the gate, how you could drop that, and even just the minifigures I thought were really fun as well. Jabba's Palace and spot 3 here, you know, they're connected. I really, these two are like my 2 Star Wars sets that I really am sad that I missed out on. Now, of course, we did get Boba Fett's Palace this year. However, it just doesn't compare to Jabba's. Like, I really love Jabba the Hutt. Again, Return of the Jedi is my favorite movie, and I just really, those minifigures are so cool. The Bouche Leia, and oh my goodness, it was just so cool. And so I really, just looking back at this, I always wanted this, and then all the controversy happened, so the chances of them remaking it are really low, and that's why the roof wasn't included, but hopefully that gets expansions. We talked about this before, but yeah, the fact that they went in the next year and they were like, oh, you can combine it with the Rancor Pit, like, what a cool concept. I would love a Master Builder series, Jabba's Palace, but who knows? Maybe for the anniversary of Return of the Jedi or something like that. Spot number 2 is a Minecraft set. You know how much I love Minecraft, and this technically I have in a way, and I wound up parting this out, which is a process that, depending on the set, I wouldn't recommend. This is one of the ones that were really frustrating, and the mobs in this set, the majority of them, I believe, are still exclusive to this, and that was the issue when trying to get all the pieces for this, because so many of them are exclusive, as well as there's also some like exclusive actual parts to this set when it comes to like the railway system. And I cheated because I had one of the extra pulls from my 1966 Batcave, so I don't have the correct color. I also fudged a lot of the bottom because it's just going to connect to my Lego Minecraft world, so I don't technically own this set. But looking back, like in 2018, this was one of the things that I remember seeing. I didn't like it very much, but the more that I look back at like the play features and having it now in hand, of how these play features work and everything like that, I really think that this is a great set. There's a couple of other Minecraft sets that I did miss out on, but they're quite easy to actually part out. Like, just to quickly give you one instance, I know that I'm sort of derailing the video a bit, but I actually just parted out the entire jungle temple. Not difficult. There's no exclusive parts in there, and you can do that for most Minecraft sets that don't have like an exclusive mob, in case you're a Minecraft fan that missed out on sets. But moving on here to spot number 1, this is the Batcopter, the chase for the Scarecrow. And honestly, this is more me being sought after for the build than the minifigure. I really love the Scarecrow's plane. I think it is one of my favorites that they did in those classic Batman sets. And I look back at that, and I'm so sad that I missed out on this. I think my cousin had this set, if I recall, or I know at some point I remember playing with like the little bombs and stuff like that. But yeah, the bombs on the inside, they were exclusive as well. I do have that Scarecrow and Batman, so it's not really a situation if I wanted the minifigures. But yeah, looking back at this, I really regret not getting this. But this was a really cool set, even the helicopter, like it was a unique set. And I really would love a new Scarecrow plane or something like that, just a homage, I guess, to this. But constantly, I'm looking up listings for that to try and get my hands on it for a good deal. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this list. Are there any that are on your list? What does your top 10 list look like? Share it all down below. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.